Dark psychology is such a controversial topic that most YouTubers and content creators avoid even talking about it. Why? Because if you truly learn dark psychology, their entire business model collapses. Once you understand how manipulation works, no YouTuber, influencer, or even the people around you will be able to manipulate you anymore. You'll start to see people's real faces, people who've been manipulating you every single day without you even realizing it. Just because you are a good person doesn't mean the world will be good to you. Remember, even psychopaths like Hitler, powerful companies, politicians, salesmen, and even some people around you have been using dark psychology for years, only for their own benefit. But here's something crucial. You don't need to learn dark psychology so that you can manipulate others. You need to learn it so that no one can manipulate you. So in this video, we are going to talk about 11 dark psychological tricks you must know, not to harm others, but to protect yourself. 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is one of the most dangerous manipulation tricks. It's when someone plays with your own memory, making you doubt yourself. They twist situations so that you start questioning your reality. They control how you see, feel, and interpret things. And soon, you start believing exactly what they want you to believe. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose someone did something wrong to you, and when you confronted them, they cleverly twisted the entire situation to make it look like you were at fault. They'll challenge your understanding. How could you misunderstand something so simple? You must have heard it wrong. You're overreacting. You have too many expectations, that's why you're hurt. In the end, you start doubting yourself. They convince you that the mistake wasn't theirs. It was yours. Such people are everywhere, in relationships, friendships, and even workplaces. Learn to recognize them and never let them make you question your own reality. 2. Fear-mongering. Spreading fear to control people is another powerful dark psychological tactic. It's been used since Hitler's time. Hitler used the media and propaganda to portray Jews as the biggest threat to Germany. He spread fear, gained control over people's emotions, and soon, whatever he said, people followed. Even today, this same strategy is used. Politicians, corporations, even bosses, all use fear to get what they want. Big companies create fear around something just to sell you their product. A boss might keep his employees scared that they could lose their job anytime. In relationships, one partner might use fear. If you don't do this, I'll leave you. Wherever someone tries to make you do something out of fear, remember, that fear is fake. They're just trying to use you for their own gain. 3. Love bombing. This trick is especially common in romantic relationships. At first, a person showers you with too much love. They overwhelm you with affection, gifts, and constant attention, making you believe they're your soulmate. You start falling for them deeply. But once they realize you're emotionally attached, they start to withdraw. Their attention and affection slowly disappear. Now, you start craving the same love and validation you once got. You begin to feel rejected and start doing whatever it takes to win that affection back. And that's how they control you, emotionally and psychologically. That's love bombing. So whenever someone is too nice, too perfect, too loving, especially at the start, be cautious. Something's not right. 4. Social proofing. In the book, 𝗬𝗫 the Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, it's explained that when we're confused, we automatically look at others to decide what's right. This is called social proof, and it's one of the most powerful tools of manipulation. If everyone around you is doing something, you start believing it must be right. But here's the dark part. Manipulators create fake social proof to influence you. For example, you might see hundreds of positive reviews for a movie and go watch it, only to realize it's not that good. Or maybe you meet someone you don't really like, but all your friends and family keep saying, "He's such a great person." And slowly, you start changing your opinion too. That's how social proof works. It manipulates your perception, without you even realizing it. 5. Silent treatment. This is another classic dark psychological hack, based on one line. Silence speaks louder than words. Instead of shouting or arguing, Manipulators use silence to break you down. Silence triggers multiple emotions: confusion, guilt, anger, and even attachment. It makes you restless. You start doubting yourself, wondering what you did wrong. And that's when you become vulnerable. Let's take an example. Suppose your close friend, family member, or partner did something that upset you. You tell them repeatedly, but they ignore you. Finally, you stop talking, completely silent. Your silence makes them anxious and frustrated. They start wondering why you're reacting this way, and soon they break, doing exactly what you want. That's the power of silent treatment, a form of psychological torture. But never use it on someone. Recognize it and protect yourself from those who do. 6. Guilt tripping. This manipulation trick is all about using your past mistakes against you. The manipulator constantly reminds you of your old faults or failures to make you feel guilty. And once you're in that guilty, vulnerable state, you start doing whatever they want. For example, let's say your partner wants you to go out somewhere, but you don't feel like it. Instead of accepting your no, they say things like, "You never go anywhere with me. Last time we didn't go out either. Maybe you just don't like me anymore. You probably don't even enjoy spending time with me." These words trap you in guilt, not because you changed your mind, but because they made you feel bad for making your own choice. So you give in, not from happiness, but from emotional pressure. That's the real power of guilt tripping. To control people through emotional guilt instead of logic. Always remember, if someone repeatedly makes you feel guilty for setting boundaries or saying no, they're not being sensitive. They're being manipulative. 7. Forced teaming. This trick makes you feel like you and the manipulator are on the same side, even when you're not. It is a psychological illusion that blurs the line between their problem and your problem. You'll often see this tactic in professional life. For instance, your boss might call you and say something like this: "Our company is going through a big challenge right now, but it is also a great opportunity for all of us. We're all in this together, right?" And when you naturally agree, your boss continues, "That's why this Sunday we all have to come in for extra work. No one's taking an off. You've just been forced into their problem, and now you're emotionally tied to it." That's forced teaming, a powerful manipulative move that uses unity as a disguise for control. Friends, partners, even colleagues might use it too. They'll make you believe you're part of their struggle, but in reality they just want you to carry their burden. Always ask yourself, is this really our problem, or just theirs? 8. Choice restriction. Choice restriction is a subtle yet smart manipulation tactic. It limits your freedom to decide, making you think you're choosing freely, when in fact, your options are already controlled. It's hard to make people do what you want directly, but if you restrict their choices cleverly, you can steer their decision without resistance. Let's say you want your younger sibling to study. If you directly tell them, "Go study now," they'll likely resist. But if you say you can either help with chores or go study, they'll probably choose to study. See how it works? You didn't order them. You just controlled their options. Manipulators use this constantly. By limiting your choices, they guide your behavior, and you don't even realize it. 9. Amplifying problems. Simply put, this means making a small issue look huge. It's turning a tiny spark into a wildfire. From a third-person perspective, this might seem foolish. You see two people fighting over a scratch on a car and you think, why are they overreacting? But when you're in that situation, your fear, urgency, and emotions take over, making you vulnerable. For example, imagine you're supposed to meet your partner at 5 p.m. but you arrive at 5:30. You think, it's just half an hour late. But they blow up. "I've been standing here for half an hour in the heat. I'm starving and dizzy. You never value my time. I don't even want to go now." Suddenly you feel guilty and powerless, and for the rest of the day you quietly follow whatever they say. That's how manipulators amplify problems, to create emotional chaos and gain control. Whenever you see someone overreacting too much to small things, step back and breathe. It's not about the issue. It's about control. 10. Go slightly wrong. This is a sneaky but brilliant trick. When someone wants to hide something from you, they won't lie directly. Instead, they'll say something slightly wrong, hoping your curiosity will expose the truth. For example, let's say your colleague just quit their job and you want to know which company they joined. If you ask directly, "Where did you apply?" they might avoid the question. So instead, you casually say, "I heard you're moving abroad for work." They might instinctively correct you. "No, not abroad, I'll be working here." "Oh, in Delhi?" "No, in Bangalore." "Oh, really? Which company?" And boom, they reveal what they didn't intend to. By intentionally going slightly wrong, you trigger their need to correct you, and they give away the information themselves. It's a subtle but powerful psychological play. 11. Self-abasement. This is one of the most underrated yet effective manipulation tricks. It's called self-abasement, which simply means putting yourself down to gain sympathy or trust. Manipulators use this when they want to win your trust, apologize, or rebuild a relationship that's breaking apart. When someone lowers themselves or insults themselves in front of you, it makes you feel superior, and that automatically softens your heart toward them. Let's take an example. Your partner is upset with you. They're ignoring you and refusing to talk. You've tried everything, but nothing works. Now you suddenly say, "I'm such a terrible person. I don't even know how I made this mistake. No matter how hard I try, I always end up ruining things. I don't deserve you." The moment you say that, notice how the other person's anger starts melting. They begin to feel guilty for being mad at you. And that's when you regain emotional control of the situation, by making yourself look weak. It's a psychological move designed to disarm the other person. Women often use this tactic too, not out of evil intent, but to emotionally balance a situation. By appearing a little broken or helpless, they trigger protection, empathy, and affection from others, especially from men. But manipulators use this trick strategically, to bend people's emotions and get what they want. So the next time someone keeps putting themselves down in front of you, don't always assume it. Humility. Sometimes, it's a calculated play. The hidden world of dark psychology. Now that you understand all 11 dark psychological tricks, from gaslighting to self-abasement, you can see how easily people can manipulate thoughts, emotions, and actions without you realizing it. But let's get one thing clear. Dark psychology itself isn't evil. It's power. And like all power, it depends on how it's used. When used unethically, it can destroy trust, relationships, and mental peace. But when used wisely, as a shield, it can protect you from emotional damage, fake people, and mental traps. Most people don't even realize they're being manipulated. They think they're being nice, understanding, or cooperative, but in reality, they're being controlled. You can stop people from trying to manipulate you, but you can stop them from succeeding. By learning dark psychology, you become aware of every invisible string people use to control others. And once you see those strings, you can cut them. Why you must learn dark psychology. If you don't understand dark psychology, you'll always remain the target. You'll always be the person who gives too much, apologizes too often, and blames yourself for others' mistakes. You'll keep wondering, why do people take advantage of me? Why do they change when I need them the most? Why do I always end up being the one who hurts? The answer is simple. Because you've been conditioned, manipulated, without even knowing it. That's why learning dark psychology isn't about becoming cruel. It's about becoming aware, so you can stop others from controlling your emotions and decisions. Once you start recognizing these psychological games, gaslighting, guilt-tripping, fear-mongering, silent treatment, and more, you stop reacting blindly. You stop playing their game. And that's when you finally take your power back. Understanding manipulators. Manipulators aren't always evil masterminds. Sometimes they're people who never learned healthy communication. They grew up using manipulation to get what they wanted. Love, attention, control, and it became second nature. They'll use emotional blackmail, guilt, anger, silence, or even kindness. Whatever works. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want you to feel in the way that benefits them. The only way to stop them is awareness. The moment you can see what they're doing, their power over you collapses. They thrive in confusion, so never let anyone confuse you about your own reality. Every loss, every heartbreak, and every failure in your life is preparing you for something greater. Life doesn't take from you without giving something back in return. The Stoics remind us that every obstacle contains an opportunity. Every pain hides a purpose. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. The twining threads of fate wove both your destiny and your reaction into one. So when you face difficulty, remember, it's not meant to destroy you, but to reveal your strength. You can't control how the world behaves, but you can always control how you respond to it." Epictetus, who was born a slave and later became one of the greatest Stoic teachers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a moment. Life will throw storms your way. Some people curse the storm, others learn to dance in the rain. Which one are you? Because true strength is not about avoiding pain. It's about transforming pain into wisdom. The Stoics believed that happiness does not come from pleasure or comfort. It comes from virtue, from living with integrity, courage, and self-control. They taught that every day is a chance to practice these virtues. When you feel anger, practice patience. When you feel greed, practice gratitude. When you feel fear, practice faith. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." You see, your challenges are not curses. They are your greatest teachers. They carve you, shape you, and prepare you for the destiny that's waiting on the other side of endurance. So, my friend, when life tests you, don't break. Stand tall. Remember that everything you need is already within you. Marcus Aurelius, even as the most powerful man on earth, wrote these humble words in his private journal. "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But I will not be harmed by them, because I cannot be made ugly by another's actions unless I choose to be." That's the essence of Stoic mastery, power over the self. The Stoics knew that peace is not found in escaping the world, but in understanding it. It's not found in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. So if you truly want peace, stop chasing the illusion of control. Stop expecting others to change. Stop fighting what is. As Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Once you accept that, you become unstoppable, because nothing outside of you can break you anymore. And that's when you finally discover the calm within the chaos, the strength within the struggle, and the peace that no storm can ever touch. That peace is the Stoic way.